So when you volunteer, just give me one. There's 5. Does anybody remember one of the components of health? So he'll give me one. Okay, they didn't hear you, so that's good. Anybody else? Go ahead, Philemon. Okay. Izzy, do you remember any others? Okay, good. Did you guys hear them? Perfect. I didn't want you to hear them. Good. Matthew, give me one.
Mental health.
Mental. Audie.
Social.
Social. Fateh.
Spiritual health.
Spiritual. Good. Garika.
I forgot.
Okay. Armand.
Physical.
Okay. Good. Did we miss any? I think the second one is the hardest one people to remember. Good. Armand.
Emotional, I think.
Okay, we did miss that one. Izzy mentioned social, right? We have the social health, mental, emotional, and then spiritual. And the goal of life is to have a balance with all these 5 things. You guys were able to see where you are using that triangle. And then again, you develop that SMART goal, a more specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time-bound goal that will help you to actually improve your health, make it a more balanced triangle. Is there any questions about this stuff before we jump into today's topic? Okay. Today we are going to be focusing on your brain. Okay. I have a little clip for you to help introduce this.
So obviously, teenagers think very differently than we do as adults, because you as a teenager aren't thinking about consequences. What happens in the teenage brain is certain areas of the brain are not fully developed. And in fact, the areas of the brain that really drive a teenager are the areas that deal with dopamine and oxytocin. Dopamine, reward-seeking behavior, willing to take risks for reward. Oxytocin, you know what? You don't want to be socially isolated. You want to be surrounded and liked by your friends. Those are 2 major driving forces. The frontal cortex is not fully developed either. That helps with decision-making capabilities. So unfortunately, kids tend to be around their peers. They take greater risks. They are willing, when friends are watching, you see all this extra activity. They are willing to do things that are more risky, and here's why. Interestingly, it goes back maybe to more primitive times. Social isolation could literally be deadly. Think about back in the caveman days. If you were socially isolated and you did not have your friends around you, you are at risk. And that's why kids desire to be in groups. They are driven by this need to be accepted by others. And of course, that can lead to dangerous behavior. Obviously, your brain cannot be fully developed at birth. You would not fit through the birth canal, right, Dr. Lisa?
Yes, that's absolutely right.
So the brain is developing throughout childhood. It takes to about the age of 25 for this frontal cortex to be completely developed. During that time, understand all these neurons are forming connections. They are allowing your teenager to begin to make better decisions. Sadly, while that's occurring, things like alcohol and drugs, you know what? They have a greater effect on the teenage brain. And sadly, if your teenager isn't making a lot of the right choices, you can actually see a drop in their IQ by the time they become adults.
All right, so a couple things. Did anybody catch what age the human brain is fully developed? Go on. Okay, anybody at home catch it? There we go. Brianna?
The age of 25.
25, right? So I just want to put this in the forefront of your thoughts right now. Your brain is not fully developed until you turn the age of 25. Now, He mentioned about, alcohol and drugs and how this is going to be stuff that you might be exposed to in high school. You might be exposed to this in college. What's the legal age to purchase and consume alcohol in the state of California? Good, I see some comments going in there. Is it? It is 21. Now you're thinking, wait, Miss King, my brain's not fully developed till I'm 25, yet the state of California says I can go ahead and start drinking at the age of 21. So keep that in the forefront of your thoughts, because as we learn more about our brain, we're going to learn about how risky it is to engage in things like drinking alcohol, vaping, doing any kind of other substance before your brain is fully developed. Okay, so he mentioned about your brain, that your brain releases what is called dopamine. Dopamine is going to be a natural pheromone in your system. The brain releases it to kind of reward your body. Now, it's normally going to do this because it likes what you're doing. For instance, like you're going to go for a jog, right? And when you start off work or even exercising, it's like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. But then as you get going, you're like, oh, it's not so bad. And then when you finish your workout, you usually 9 out of 10 times feel a lot better than before your workout happened, because your brain released that dopamine. Your brain likes you to get exercise because it's associated with survival. Now, not every time your brain releases dopamine is it really related to survival. Sometimes your brain releases dopamine because it likes what you're doing, not necessarily it's healthy for you. For instance, drugs. Drugs amplify the effect of dopamine. Okay. So what happens is, turn it off. What happens is, if we saw that the, alcohol or drugs in your system are going to, your brain goes, ooh, we like this substance. Maybe it's not even alcohol. Maybe it's caffeine. Okay, question? Oh, turn it off. You did, you're okay. So we should be okay. Some people are addicted to coffee. Some people are addicted to soda, right? Your brain, caffeine is another stimulant of the brain. The brain likes it. And so now it starts associating these with even survival. Sometimes whatever chemical you're taking in, your brain doesn't care about water or food anymore. Now it wants just that actual chemical. Now, this is dangerous because now your brain is getting used to those high levels of dopamine. And what's going to happen is you're going to build a tolerance. So that same feel-good feeling that you would get with like one soda, now you need 2 sodas because now you need to up it. Okay. Now you need 3 sodas or now a 4th cup of coffee to have the same effect that you used to have. And now you become dependent on it. Now you need it. And because physically and psychologically, you're attached now to this chemical. I don't know if you've ever been around somebody who's trying to cut back coffee. Okay, it's pretty common. I know there's some teachers here on campus. I don't drink coffee. I don't even drink soda. I drink water all day long. And but some teachers on campus, if they don't get their coffee, oh man, they're grumpy, they get headaches. Some of them will like start trembling because now their brain is saying, whoa, where's my drug? Where's my caffeine? And it's going to start doing what we call withdrawal. And sometimes that withdrawal can be quite discomforting, very painful, because your brain is telling you, whoa, don't stop. It likes that chemical. Give me more. And so withdrawal can be quite painful. You might know somebody who's given up sugar. Oh man, right? And so the same things going on for this too. Now, this is a big deal. If you expose your brain to any kind of chemical, whether it be caffeine, alcohol, vaping, marijuana, anything, before it's fully developed, it's going to attach itself to that chemical even more. Now it's like super bond glue, it wants it even more. And so what we're seeing is the younger you are when you try these different substances, the more likelihood you are to become addicted to them. Okay. Any questions on this? Yes. Yes. Some of you, coffee can be like a drug. Yep, especially the caffeine and the sugar. Sugar can be even addicting. Now, some people would argue that's not a drug, it's food. But it does alter you ever have like a sugar high? Shoo, right? And then you crash, right? So the same thing happens with your brain, exposure to those different things. Okay. Others. So we're sort of mentioning drugs today. So who can help me? If you were to define what a drug is, what would you say? Izzy, what would you say? Okay. She said something that releases dopamine into your body. Good. Who else? Armand, I wouldn't doubt that. I know for me. Abigail?
Something that someone can get addicted to.
Okay. Armand?
Something that can be used as medicine.
Okay. Garika?
Something you might need to use for the rest of your life to stay happy, whether it's healthy or not.
Okay. Others? Right? Armand mentioned he read somewhere that Oreos are more addicting than some drugs. Whew. Me and cookies. It's not healthy. Sahil?
Anything that produces more dopamine than it should.
Okay. He said anything that produces more dopamine than it should. I like where you guys are going with that. The technical definition of drug is a substance other than food that change the way your mind and body work. But I'm with you, Armand. Cookies, sugar, ice cream, deliciousness. Some of you, soda. Some of you do drink coffee. But people would argue, well, it's the caffeine, right? Anyhow. But what would be some examples then? Other than food. Sahil, give me one.
Any like marijuana, tobacco, alcohol. I just wanted to point out that sugar is the definition of food is any nutritious substance that people are having with video games in order to maintain life and growth. Only sugar can maintain life and growth compared to
Oh,
sugar.
got it. Sahil looked up what sugar is, the definition, and the definition of food. Technically, you don't need sugar to live a healthy life, so it's not considered. Oh, there you go. Brianna.
Video games.
Ooh, video games. How many of you are addicted to video games? Garika.
Could be maybe drawing.
I'm sorry.
If you draw, could be like something you usually do pretty often.
Okay.
As like a hobby.
Okay. Sahil also mentioned like marijuana is a drug, tobacco. Any other examples of drugs? Okay, cocaine. Yeah. That's it. I normally have a whole room of people yelling things at me right now. Bella,
Social media.
social media could be a drug. Gotcha. Others. Are all drugs? Yeah, say the names. Say it again.
You want us to just start naming anything that comes to the top of our head?
Yeah, what are some examples of drugs? Okay. You guys are so afraid to say the names of this stuff. It's okay. Don't give it power over you. Say it. Like, oh, he who must not be named. Right? Philemon. Okay. You said heroin? Okay. Okay. Armand?
Marijuana.
Okay. Now, are all drugs bad for you? Okay. What would be some good drugs? Tylenol, Benadryl,
And then there's like Oxycontin, which is on the line.
Garika,
Aspirin, depending on how you take it.
aspirin, Zyrtec. My allergies are kicking up. Armand,
Well, in some cases, drugs like marijuana are used as painkillers.
that's true. Be medically, right? So sometimes drugs are prescribed from our doctor. Brianna,
NyQuil.
NyQuil. Sometimes you can buy them at the store. Penicillin. Sometimes, right, we're using these substances. We want them to change our mind or our body because something's not working right? Medical uses. Sometimes people use drugs, though, not to improve their health, but to alter the scenario around them. So they're using more explicit drugs that are not going to be quite as helpful. Okay, so what I want us to do is we're going to take a break. And when we get back, we're going to actually address now, what does it look like when you're addicted to something? And I'm glad some of you brought up social media, video games, because that's going to be one of our topics today as well. Ready? 3 minutes. Get up, stretch. tell you later. For instance, this health unit, we're talking about drugs. We would actually go into details of all those different drugs, right? We would do like, yeah. So we're just talking about like, how are we covering all the content in the same amount of time? We're not, unfortunately, but we're giving you the big overall pictures. You're going to get health again next year. So I'm just hoping that I'll give you the bigger picture ideas before summer hits so that you can make good choices over the summer. So what happens with addiction? Again, you should be back. Camera should be on, or you're letting me know in the chat box. Randy, that's fine. Ooh, excuse me. I did not mean to yell like that. All right. So life happens, right? You get dumped by your boyfriend or girlfriend, or someone passes away, or you didn't get into that college you wanted to, whatever it is, something happened, some kind of discomfort in life occurs. Now you have two choices. You can deal with those emotions. Remember, we talked about your emotional health. It's okay to have emotions. You're going to have disappointments in life. You're going to have celebrations in life, right? It's okay to go through the ups and downs of life. Now, your goal is to get through those emotions through a healthy way. So you can either do it through the healthy pathway, or start thinking about using some kind of drug or substance to escape it all. So let's go, if we go the healthy way, it's going to slowly decrease over time. You're going to go talk to a wellness coordinator or a counselor. You're going to practice meditation, yoga. It's going to take longer to get through it, but it's going to be a lot healthier in the long run. Okay, that's fine. Let's say you go with plan B. You're going to entertain the idea of using some kind of substance. Well, then you got to prepare to use it. You got to get whatever it is, pay for it. Where are you going to do it? Are there going to be other people around, etc.? And then you're going to actually use it. Now, if you're using a drug or alcohol, even your technology can be quite satisfying very quickly. It's going to happen really quick. It's not a discomfort you have to decrease over time. And then you're going to have some kind of guilt or harmful effects of using it. I was just sharing with my folks in the classroom that yesterday I was really lazy. I was on the computer working from like morning till 2:30. And then when I got home, I did not want to do anything. I should have just went outside and walked around the block. I probably would have felt way better. But instead, I took out my phone and started playing whatever stupid game I have on here, right? And then at the end, I felt so bad. Like, oh, I didn't even reach my step goal. I should have just went around the block, all right? Oh, man. Oh, well, keep going on my phone, right? And then the cycle just keeps going and going and going and going. Now, if this is a substance, if this is alcohol, vaping, etc., even your electronics, remember now your brain is getting that dopamine. And if my brain isn't fully developed, my brain really, really likes that dopamine. And it's going to want me to stay in this cycle even more. And now I'm addicted to it here. Okay. Let's see what happens with that technology part though.
With over 89% of America's population owning a computerized device and us spending, on average, over 7 hours of screen time a day on technology, it obviously has an effect on society. But what about our brains? Here's some crazy ways that screen time is affecting your brain right now. Having trouble logging off the internet or quitting that video game? Research has shown dopamine, which is a hormone released in the brain for reward and addiction, is released during gaming and internet use. This creates urges and cravings for gaming and internet use that are similar to the urges and cravings of drug addicts' brains. In recent brain scans, it is shown that gaming and internet use are seen just as or more rewarding as the feeling of cocaine. Although it is psychological addiction instead of a substance addiction, internet and gaming both rewire the brain because they provide immediate rewards with very little effort. This causes your brain to say, "I want more," after every single use. With more and more use of the internet and gaming, they can create problems in the important frontal lobe, which governs the executive functions such as planning, prioritizing, organizing, and impulse control. Volume loss was also seen in the striatum, which is involved in the reward pathways and the suppression of socially unacceptable impulses. Another concerning result of internet and gaming addiction is an area known as the insula, which is involved in our capacity to develop empathy, compassion for others, and integrate physical signals with emotion. Ever find yourself on your phone in the middle of the night and taking forever to fall asleep? Studies have shown that because of the light from the cell phone, it mimics daytime and suppresses melatonin, which is a hormone used at night as a sleep signal for your body when darkness occurs. Just a few minutes of screen stimulation in the dark can delay melatonin release for up to several hours and desynchronizes the body's natural clock. The harmful effects from using your cell phone at night before bed can disrupt the natural body clock, can cause some hormone imbalances, can cause brain inflammation, lead to depression, and you're not permitting deep sleep, which is used to heal your body from all the damages it takes during the day. Another thing we see shattered by screen time is attention, loss in mental reserves, and overloads the sensory system. Research says that what is often the cause of explosive and aggressive behavior is poor focus. When attention suffers, so does the ability to process one's internal and external environment. So even little demands now become big ones because of depleting mental energy with high visuals and cognitive input, otherwise known as screen time. A temporary way that brain deals with the effects of too much screen time is to get angry, which boosts the brain's depleted reserves. So as an effect, a meltdown becomes a coping mechanism for the brain when too many senses are flooding in from the environment as a result of damage of too much screen time. One concerning thing about screen time is that playing violent video games or watching violent TV shows hardens teens. Sure, the epic show of murder mystery and fun game of killing people is cool, but research shows that the more war, violence, and murder that we watch or interact with makes us more aggressive and less sympathetic towards other people in reality. One other effect is that when you are watching these shows and or playing these games, you are more likely to hurt yourself in the real world during stressful situations. Something else that scientists see as an effect of screen time is the reduction of physical activity, which can lead to weight gain, and the less exposure of green time. Research also shows that time in the outdoors, especially interacting with nature, can restore attention, lower stress, reduce aggression. So put your technology down and go outside.
All right. So some of you right now are logged into class and are playing with another device. I know you are. I know you are. Okay. Because this is, whoa, your brain loves the instant gratification, whether it's a silly game you're playing like me yesterday after work, or if it's, I'm addicted to Uno. I just gotta play, I gotta earn my coins. And so when you're doing all the scenarios, your brain wants more and more and more and more of it, okay? Now, excessive screen time, as they mentioned, has ill effect on all aspects of our health, actually, okay? Notice they have cognitive development, mental health, physical health, social, emotional development. Wow, too much screen time. Now, some of you are saying, Miss King, I can't go to school without looking at a screen. Oh, I know. So that means when school's over, turn off the screens, go outside, put your feet in the grass, get some sunlight. Oh, that's gross. But actually getting outside, getting some vitamin D, getting some fresh air, is so much better for your health than staying inside staring at the screen this way. Yes, Sahil. Yep.
So, it's saying that excessive screen time control is probably the most popular so like I don't think it's anything particularly violent. I'm sorry, anything particularly flashy or engaging. right? Like with the games, they're not like super like emotive and like casino level, right?
No, there are some games we try to use though to keep you a little bit more hooked. But you're right. He's saying the school stuff isn't really like super duper engaging, right? He wasn't trying to offend me, but you did. I'm just kidding. Right? And so, right, the school stuff, there's so much screen time that is needed. But when you have a chance, turn off the screen and actually interact with another human being. What? What do you mean? What? Some of you in your goals said, I'm going to talk to my sister or my brother. That's great. Talk to another human being. And things are starting to open up now. We can actually spend time with other friends. Your parents put you in summer school, virtual summer school. Yay. And so, right? But it's only from 8 to 12. I'm going to be working summer school. I'll see you there. And when it goes, we're going to be able to 12:30, no screen time. Maybe part of our SMART goal is scheduling at least 1 hour of no screen time. What? And that would be nice. What can you do with that 1 hour without a screen in front of you? Now, another thing that you guys mentioned a lot yesterday, or what, not yesterday, Monday, was the lack of sleep you're getting. So I want to just take a moment to help you with your sleeping at your age. I know the survey said 8 hours, but sorry to burst your bubble. You should really be getting over 9 hours of sleep every night. I see head shakes like, yeah, right, Miss King, that's impossible. Okay. Now, some things to help you with this. Make a consistent schedule. What's your bedtime? A lot of times I ask students, well, what's your bedtime? And they go, Make a bedtime. Set a bedtime. Now, here's the thing. Your brain takes 1 hour to detox from electronics. It loves the electronics. The dopamine is flying. You turn off the electronics, dopamine is still flying. It takes 1 hour for it to calm down. So, what's your bedtime? Yep. What time? 9:30. That's very rare, but that's good. That means at 8:30, no electronics. Turn them off. 8:30. Okay? That way your brain can settle down a little bit. No caffeine. Let's not have soda at dinner. What? No coffee late at night. Okay? At least 6 hours before. What? So I'm not addicted to caffeine. I cut that out. I was addicted in college. I had to cut it. So that's why Miss King doesn't drink any caffeine anymore. Okay? You don't think it's possible to get that much sleep? Let's try. Let's try to get as close as possible. Miss King, I do have a bedtime. Miss King, I don't do electronics. I don't do caffeine, but I'm still having a hard time sleeping. Well, some of you, your brain is just still going. Okay. Then you need to just write some techniques is just get a piece of paper and write down anything that's on your mind. That way, when you lay back down, your brain goes, oh, we don't have to remember this, and it goes to sleep. Me personally, I don't know why it puts me to sleep, but I think about my to-do list the next day. I don't know why that puts me to sleep, but I'm like, okay, when I wake up, I'm gonna do this, this, and I'm gone. Okay. Some people that might stress them out and they can't go to sleep because of everything they have to do. I don't know why, but that works for me. Do some light stretching, do some yoga, but here's the trick. Don't do a hardcore workout right before bed. Remember, your brain likes you to work out. So if you do like a hardcore run or workout, then it's going to release dopamine and dang it, now you need to detox again. Okay. So light stretches, calming music. Some of you said you listen to music when you try to fall asleep. Here's the key. No words in the music. It has to be instrumental. If there's words, your brain is trying to figure out what's going on. Let your brain go to sleep. Okay? Any questions on this? Okay. So we're going to take our final break. When we get back, you get to learn a little bit more about your brain via Go Formative. Okay, here we go, 3 minutes. Welcome back, everybody. Brianna, I'm not sure if that's a recent hand or an old hand. You're gonna have to let me know. Okay.
It's an old hand.
Okay, thank you. I didn't want to miss it. So we have a formative, and I think this formative is engaging. Not super engaging, but there is going to be a few little quick videos for you to enjoy, and then just a handful of questions. So shouldn't take you that long. I had students done within like 10, 15 minutes of them doing it. We happen to have 20 minutes left in class. So you should be able to get this done without it becoming your homework, okay? So I'm gonna allow you to do this individually. I am gonna be watching your progress on Go Garden and on Formative. So go ahead and go on Google Classroom. It's called Your Brain. Thank you, everybody who let me know you're back. Okay. All right. So go ahead. I'm going to mute myself, and I'm going to let you go ahead and learn more about your brain. Have fun. All right, I still have a handful of you who haven't opened this up yet. Go ahead and open it up. Audie, Angel, Angelica. Oh, there's Angelica. Good, Randy, go ahead and open it up. That's okay, Angelica, welcome back. Randy, come back to me. Come on, Randy, you got this. Open it up. That's okay, Audie. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. If you need to turn off your video because of any reason, you can turn off your video now because I know you're trying to play videos on your own. I should have said that earlier. I'm sorry.
Wait, hold on, where is it? It kind of looks like a, what are those called? Scatterbrain. I can't find my brain. It looks like a, those little starfish? No. Seahorse. Seahorse. Yeah. Like a seahorse. Everybody's a seahorse. Watch this and follow along with your own. Yeah.
Where is your brain at?
Or are we supposed to watch it in 15-second clips? But I already answered all the questions.
Eyes, brain stem,
I think it's just
corpus
reading the
callosum.
It's just reading it out.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got head. Your brain is in your head. Ooh.
Somebody told me arm already.
Wait, like the guy was joking. Like you weren't joking?
They're probably not even paying attention. They just click, 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 click.
Okay, that one you can mess up. Cerebrum, brainstem, and then the bridge one, corpus callosum. And then eyes are part of the brain.
Wait, do you have to watch videos too?
Yes.
Now, you probably know the name Darren Seed. He's one of the giants in the field of interpersonal neurobiology. And Dan came up with a lovely hand model of the human. So let's kind of go through the hand model. And this could be useful for you to understand that, in fact, it might be useful for you to actually share this with you. The wrist and the forearm coming up to here is like your spine. And right here at the end of the wrist is like the base of your skull. And here at the bottom of your arm is like the reptile, the life support system. So, the rest of your brain is right hand.
Randy, I still don't see you working, sir. There you go. Now I see you on there. Keep going. Rihan, we haven't made much progress. Faith, keep going. There's only 12 questions. You got this. Okay, when you get to number 7 and you are going to record your audio, you have to give it permission to have access to your mic. Okay. If it's messing up, hit refresh, try it again. And if it still doesn't work, then leave me a comment. You can just write your answer in the comment. Okay. Try to refresh again, and then it should ask you for access. Grant it access to your mic. All right, Faith, keep going. Rihan, I still don't see you accessing it at all, sir. That's going to hurt your participation.
All the different all get this put together. It's pretty occasional, all of it is. Oh, really? Yeah, that's why it's just, like, you could equal it, you could just leave it and put it in there, plate, they won't be able to do that. They can see that much. I think it's really the rules of it. We don't do it. Those are like, and four, there are four. One, but I don't have all. Oh, I think that rules actually separate the. Post ask. It's low. Or I could just get permission to do that.
Yeah, give it permission to have access to your mic.
I accidentally pressed it and then I pressed it. Oh, part of the audio.
It is 10:46. Holy moly, I just realized that. If you have not finished, it's okay if you're in from in your background, then this is now homework for you, okay? I see when you're done, make sure you hit submit. I have about half of the class done already. So you're gonna hit submit. If number 7, the audio, you can't figure out how to give it permission and whatnot, on the side of number 7 on the formative, you can click on the comment. You can put your answer in the comment section if the recording thing is not working out for you. Okay. All right, you guys, I wish you a great weekend. I will see you on Monday. It's homework. This is due 8 o'clock. Due by 8 o'clock.
Living or dead being green energy. What does our brain hold our emotions? Emotions was the frontal lobe. So the oh, wouldn't upstairs be like the frontal lobe and downstairs be like the so the limbic system is other downstairs. You're looking at it in the well, upstairs brain means it's thinking part of it. What happens to your upstairs brain without
Bless you.
a lot of emotions?
All right. Have a good weekend.